You know, the media is beginning to melt down over the latest election trends favoring Trump when this kind of stuff happens.
Should he release the results of the cognitive test?
He's on display every minute.
So it's unnecessary. You can see that he didn't release his medical records. You don't want to know things like his cholesterol level, whether he's dealing with any issue that we may not know about, if he's going to be commander-in-chief. And he also said he would release cognitive tests.
Listen to your question.
Should he release that?
The American people... Kristen, the American people don't care about the cholesterol level of Donald Trump. They care about the cost of living and the fact they cannot pay for groceries.
That was the clearest indication to me that they're getting desperate. Joining me now, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Mr. Speaker, good to see you tonight. Now, how often, pray tell, do your Louisiana constituents ask you about the president's cholesterol level? Oh, let's just talk about the good cholesterol versus the bad cholesterol, LDL versus H. This is embarrassing.
It is embarrassing, and it would be comical if it were not so serious, Laura. The broadcast news stations ought to be required to file paperwork now. They're giving in-kind contributions with all their airtime for the Kamala Harris campaign. They're trying to prop her up, and of course they're trying to diminish our nominee, Donald Trump. And it's absurd. I've been on the Sunday shows the last couple of weekends, Laura. I did CBS, ABC, NBC. I'm mostly asked about January 6th, the 2020 election, and now Donald Trump's cholesterol. The people don't care about this stuff. The people care about the cost of living. They care about the wide open border. They care about the crime rate and the weakness we're projecting on the world stage. And Democrats can't address any of that because they have no answers for it. And that's why this turns into a charade.
And meanwhile, when you have like J.D. Vance going on these talk shows, and I think I don't know if these anchors don't prepare or they're just used to talking to each other. They don't know what to do. They're really at a loss. It's just a normal answer. Like, well, it's really bad when any apartment buildings are taken over in Colorado by a vicious Venezuelan gang, but it's only a few apartment buildings. This is insanity. Yeah, I think it's a contribution to Trump, not to Harris. I think this actually helps Trump.
Well, it does. It points out the absurdity. It shows the obvious bias, and it illustrates why no one trusts the mainstream media anymore. And they're messing with the wrong Marines when they get J.D. Vance on the air or somebody like me. I mean, I know what I'm talking about. J.D. knows what he's talking about, right? They can't trip us up on, things happening in Congress or around the country, and we'll push back. And I think that's really important. I think all Republicans, all conservatives everywhere at every level need to push back against this stuff. They have been spinning the facts. They're trying to run a campaign based on fantasy and not fact, and it's up to us to put the real information out there. We look forward to every opportunity to do that.
Well, how often does Kamala Harris get her ears cleaned? We want to know. Inquiring minds, this is crazy. All right, it looks like, though, from now, Mr. Speaker, until election night, it is going to be one giant fear-mongering exercise, including this.
His rhetoric is only getting darker and more dangerous, and it might just be working.
Secrecy, shame, silence, danger, even death. That's where Donald Trump has left women today.
I didn't know that he was going to schedule a rally at Madison Square Garden to mimic the Nazi rally of 10 February 1939. They have promised military roundup. They've promised the gates of hell will rain on the enemies.
Speaker Johnson, that's all they got. It's kind of Nazi Germany and dictatorship. And they said that last time, and we had a great economy, and people were really optimistic.
What happened to the campaign of joy? That lasted about a week. This is dark and ominous, but what's really dark and ominous, Laura, of course, is the record of Harris and Biden and what the Democrats have done to the country. That's what people care about. I am traveling nonstop. I've done events now in 227 cities across 40 states. We're going to keep going all the way through Election Day. Laura, I go to the blue states, the swing districts, the places Republicans are not expected to do well, because that's where we're going to win these House races. And I'm telling you, something is happening out there. People are fed up and they are fired up. They know about the record, and all this rhetoric and everything's not going to matter. I think this is going to be an election about record and not rhetoric. I think it's going to be policy, not personality. And I am absolutely convinced Donald Trump's going back to the White House. We're going to take back the Senate, and we're going to grow the House majority because of it.
Well, if it's about personality, Trump definitely beats Kamala Harris in my book, Mr.
That's
Speaker.
Right. That's right. We win that too.
And he's funny, and she is absolutely as funny as a thumbtack. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much. All right.